Hello everybody, welcome to my sports show, and I have to make this one decently quick because I got to get to a church activity, but I'm just going as fast as I can, so it's not going to be the most in-depth thing, but otherwise I wouldn't be able to get it in. So, just trying to go top speed here. Standing is the SEC Thursday, which I actually kind of wanted to go in depth. I was excited, but there's no time. Okay, so, it's taking too long. Okay. Number 1, 7-0, 4-0 conference play. The Texas A&M Aggies are one of the best teams in the country. Ranked number 3, surprisingly, the last remaining undefeated team overall in SEC play. Alabama is the only other unbeaten team in conference play. But yes, the Aggies are great. Who have they beat? They went to Fayetteville and barely won. Beat Florida and beat Mississippi State. But then they do have the statement over Notre Dame, and then that was on the road, excuse me. So that's good, but really nothing statement-y. They went winless in SEC play in November, trying to avoid that this time. But we're looking to stay undefeated in September and October under Mike Elko, but this is going to be a tough one in Death Valley. Even though it got downplayed after Vanderbilt beat LSU. 6-1, 4-0 in conference play, ranked 4th in the country. The Alabama Crimson. Everyone wrote them off after the Florida State loss. Now 4 straight top 25 wins. Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee. But they got to go through South Carolina. That's a test. The Sandstorm is going to be bumping. They're going to be excited. And that's going to be South Carolina's got a bad offense. They look to finally get things right and pull off an upset. So they better fear that game. But yeah, Bama's looking real good. Very much like a natty contender again. 6-1, 4-1 in conference play with the Georgia Bulldogs. It looked like they might lose to Ole Miss. They were down by 2 scores. Bounce back. Win by 8. What a turnaround there. Their losses at home by 3 points to Alabama, which is an A-OK loss. So people have got to be understanding that. They got a real good football team down there in Georgia. And yeah, I mean, they're right there in the conversation too. But they got to go to Georgia Tech on Black Friday. That's going to be a great one. 6-1, 3-1 conference play. The Ole Miss Rebels, of course, were up by 9 to Georgia. Then the offense kind of just falls apart in the fourth quarter. You lose by 8, but hey, you're still a great team. I think they might have a bye. No, they go to Norman. That's a big one. That's a big game for kind of a bounce back game for Ole Miss because they need it. They need a bounce back win, and I think they do that. But yeah, they're looking real good. Ole Miss, one of the best teams in the country. But of course, there's the rumors swirling. Will Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss? If I was him, I honestly would leave Ole Miss for Florida. But I don't know what he's going to do. 5-2, 2-1 in conference play. The Texas Longhorns. They've been a bit disappointing. Barely beating Texas. See, the Oklahoma wins impressive. But barely beating Texas. But they got to go to Mississippi State. I still think Mississippi State's great. Should have beaten Florida if Jeff Lebby had a break. Almost beat Tennessee, but couldn't compete at all against Texas A&M. But just Texas isn't very good. I mean, they barely won 16-13 against Kentucky. Like, they're not good. They're not a good team, Texas. Arch Manning's been so disappointing. I think next year will be great, but yeah, this has been a rough year for Texas. 6-1, 2-1 in conference play. They are participating in College Game Day. The Missouri Tigers. Eli Drinkwitz, of course. Some people think he might leave Missouri for another job offer. I think maybe Florida. But yeah, he has his team in a great position. Big test at 10th ranked Vanderbilt. If they win that game, they probably will move into the top 10 and prove, hey, look, we are legit. That is a big game for playoff implications. 2 teams that kind of are on the bubble. Where Vanderbilt's currently in using the AP poll, and Missouri's on the bubble. So this is gonna be a fun game. Yeah, I think Bo Prabula is the X factor. Or no, Pavia is, but Bo Prabula is the X factor on the Missouri side. He needs to play well. 6-1, 2-1 in conference play. The Oklahoma Sooners. And they're a good team, Oklahoma. They are angry about just the horrible performance they had against Texas. Kind of an ugly win against South Carolina, 26-17. But this is their chance to just bounce back. Big win over because they need a big win over Ole Miss. If they lose that game, yeah, people are kind of going to be questioning, hey, how great is this team? But same thing with Ole Miss. If Ole Miss loses, so that's another crucial game. How about Vanderbilt, 6-1, 2-1 conference play, ranked 10th in the country, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Of course, College Game Day is coming to Nashville. I'm going to be there, which I'm psyched about. And we got ourselves some fun times ahead. The doors are looking great. Pavia is in the Heisman discussion, like top 7-ish. One thing item at number 6. Pavia is rocking and rolling. But this is another game, kind of like the LSU game. If he plays great, that's just going to bump up his Heisman hopes even more. That team is legit. This is a must-win against Missouri. If they lose it, I don't think they'll let the pressure get to them. Being a top 10 team, College game day coming their way. A lot of teams would let pressure get to them, especially when you're a team that, like, normally isn't that good. But I think Vanderbilt, Clark Lee's going to have his team ready. Pavia is not going to let it get to him. He's great, and I think, so not saying they're going to win, but, like, they're not just going to melt down. 5-2, 2-2 in conference play, the LSU Tigers. Came in as everyone's like national championship, but now people want Brian Kelly fired. That's how bad it's gotten. And the Clemson win looked huge. It was a bit ugly, but we just beat the 4th-ranked team in the country on the road. But losing at Ole Miss and losing at Vanderbilt. But people are overreacting. They're all like, they lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's good now. Like, why are they still treating Vanderbilt like they're a piece of trash? People thought I was insane when I had Vanderbilt at 17, I bet. But no, it's gone on to be a great pick. The doors are great. Stop being like, oh, they're trash. Big home game against Texas A&M. If you win, right back in that natty conversation. Or not natty, but playoff conversation. If you lose, it's like, yeah, we're done. Season's over. But yeah, it's been a bumpy year. 5-2, 2-2 in conference play, the Tennessee Volunteers. We're on 17-point loss to Alabama. But they would have only lost by 3 if they didn't get pick 6 at the end of the half. If they could have gotten a touchdown there, because it was kind of goal. But yeah, the Vols are great. They can definitely go back to the college football playoff. Would not shock me in the slightest if we see them in the college football playoff. They're a great team, and they're just gonna bounce back. I think they have a bye week, but yeah, they will bounce back. 3-4, 2-2 conference play. The Florida Gators, they of course fired Billy Napier, which I think was a good move. I've heard Billy Napier's a really nice guy, just I don't think he was a good enough coach. Not a good enough coach. I think if they bring in Lane Kiffin, DJ Lagway stays, and then they keep all the assets they need, maybe get a better coaching staff, like a better OC. They're going to be right there in the conversation. I'm going to be high on them. Like, really high on them, and then they can make that happen. But yeah, I think it was a good move to fire Billy Napier. Too bad for him. He tried his best. And it's kind of good that, like, people wanted him to get rid of but he stuck his foot down, which is kind of, at least he, was determined, thinking, hey, look, this is for the best of the team, even though it probably wasn't. 3-4, 1-4 in conference play. One of the most disappointing teams in the country, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Why have you been so bad, South Carolina? I was high on Lenore Sarr. I saw him demolish Vanderbilt last season. He was great. Now, what happened to that man? The offense is horrible, but they have a chance to make a statement against Alabama. I don't think they will, but they certainly have a shot to do so. But yeah, this offense, 7 points against Vanderbilt. Granted, Stellars was hurt, but still 20 to Missouri. They did get 28 to 35 on Kentucky, but hey, look, it's Kentucky. And then they scored 10 on LSU, 7 on Oklahoma. They don't have an offense. They need to get it together. 4-3, 0-3 in conference play. The Mississippi State Bulldogs. Jeff Lebby had a brain. They would have just run the football and then kicked a walk-off field goal, but instead he's like, let's throw it. I mean, granted, Blake Shapen has to take care of the football because you don't need any more yards. It's not a long field goal, and for some reason, they decide they do need more yards, and that just cost them the game. I still think they can stun Texas, kind of end Texas this season. That's not out of the conversation. But yeah, they want their first SEC win in a while, considering they went winless in SEC play last year. 2-5, 0-3 in conference play. Arkansas Razorbacks. They've been good with Bobby Petrino. Lost by a field goal at Tennessee, by a field goal at home against Texas A&M. Bobby Petrino's done a good job there. I think they play Auburn. If they flounder in this game, that's just rough. But yeah, of course, their main thing, they pretty much give up on their season. What they're looking for is a new head coach, which still could be Bobby Petrino, I think. 3-4, 0-4 in conference play. The Auburn Tigers, they're just not a good team. They just are not a good team. I mean, granted, they should have beaten Oklahoma. almost beat Texas A&M, and those were both on the road. If it wasn't for a dumb penalty call like the Oklahoma game, they probably would have beaten Georgia. Statistically, it would have been 20-17, but the momentum would have been entirely different. And then they should have beaten Missouri honestly, but I was so stressed out watching that game. It was just so stressful considering I really wanted College Game Day to come to Nashville, so I'm glad they lost. But yeah, Hugh Freeze, this is done at the end of the year. 2-4, 0-4 in conference play, the Kentucky Wildcats. But also, Hugh Freeze is 0-4 all 3 of his years, but he started out 0-4 in SEC play. All 3 of his years. But 2-4, 0-4 in conference play, Kentucky Wildcats. People are fed up with Mark Stoops. They're like, hey, look, he's no Bob Stoops. He's not like his brother. I was just think they're brothers, and they're just like, let's just do the buyout. Let's just get the buyout done. Let's just get the buyout over with. That's probably what they are thinking, and just do it. I think we're at the end of the season, but yeah, should have beaten Texas. You're at the goal line and you can't get it done. That's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. Like what's going on? Why can't you do that? So yeah, frustrating stuff for Kentucky. Maybe having a bye week, or no, because they've already had all their bye weeks. I don't know. Mark Stoops is probably just fed up at this point, which I don't blame him. Just Kentucky is just horrible. Well, that's it for SEC Thursday. Make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, I'll see you tomorrow for my pregame show because I'm not doing it Saturday because I'm going to be at College Game Day. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.